Tearing down the roof is my vocation. Anybody want the truth? Drop your location. Yeah.
All right, here we go. So you clicked on this because you want to know how to solve quadratics. And how do you even know when you have a quadratic? Well, you know you have a quadratic whenever you see an x squared or a h squared or whatever the variable is with a little 2 on top. That's how they say squared. So this is going to teach you how to solve equations like that. And in particular, we'll be using the quadratic equation. We're going to use that guy, this whole method. The reason why we use a quadratic equation is because it always works. It always works. It'll always, always, always work. This method will always work. There's no other method that'll always work. The quadratic equation will always work. All right, let's show you how to use it. Let's go. All right, so the first equation we got here, it says m squared minus 5m minus 14. I have a quadratic. How do you know you got a quadratic? Because I see the squared up here. All right, that means I got a quadratic equation. So let me write down the quadratic formula so I can solve a quadratic equation. Here's the formula. Here you go. Write this down. You'll write it down every single time because you got to memorize it. And the more you write it down, the more you learn it. So let's go. It's going to be negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Just write it down. You don't have to know what that stuff is. Just write it down real quick. So it's negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right, once you have that written down, now we have to go through and fill in the parts. Here's how all the parts are going to work. You see the guy with the squared? That's going to give us the a term. The guy with the regular letter on it, that's the b term. The guy that has nothing on him, that's the c term. So, what is my a term here? What is a in this equation? Well, it's the first one that has the squared on it. What number do you see in front of this m squared? There's no number there, but you better know it's a 1. You better know that there's a 1 there. So the a is going to be a 1. Well, what's the b term going to be? Well, we got to look for the guy that just has the regular letter on him. That's the b term. So here's a regular letter. Who's next to him? This thing right here. Don't forget the sign right here. So the b is a negative 5. The c value, that's the regular number all by himself. That is a negative 14. So hey, I've got my a, got the b, got the c. Now you just got to plug it in the formula and you should be great. Now all you got to do is plug it in the formula. Now here's what's up. I'm going to make it kind of easy for us whenever we plug stuff in. Whenever you plug things in, please put parentheses around that thing. So here we go. Here's the formula, right? I'm just going to rewrite it, but now with the numbers in it. So it's negative. Now what's the b value? B value is a negative 5. So I'm putting parentheses, negative 5, plus or minus the square root of, okay, what was b squared? Okay, b is a negative 5. So put it in parentheses, and then put the squared on the outside, minus 4, a value, put it in parentheses. A is 1, so I write the 1 there, close the parentheses. Now I got to put the c value, put him in parentheses as well. The c is negative 14. There we go. Everybody is in parentheses all over 2 times a. What was the a value? A was a 1. All right, I wrote it just like this. I set it up just like this. Now I'm going to type it into my Desmos calculator just like this. Here I go. Here you go. So I've got a minus, a parentheses, negative 5, close it. You see where it says plus or minus? Well, you got to go with each sign at a time. So I'm going to go with the plus sign first because it's on top. So I'm going to go plus. Then I'm going to put up the square root symbol. Where is it? Right here. Square root of parentheses, negative 5, close it, squared, minus 4, parentheses, a 1, close it, open a new one, negative 14, close it, divided by, oops, I want all of it to be divided by. This isn't good enough. So I'm going to, oh, I just erased it. Let's bring it back. All right, I'm going to divide, I need the whole guy to be divided by. So I'm going to highlight everybody, hit the divided by button, 2 parentheses, 1. Close it. And look, it gives me an answer already. If you had a calculator, you just type that in and hit enter. Since Desmos already gives me an answer, I'll write down that answer. So the first answer is a 7. So it gave me a 7. So I'm going to write down x equals 7. Now I got to write down the other answer because I just did it for the plus sign, right? Now I got to do it for the other sign. So I'm going to go x equals, and let's go see what it is. Back to Desmos calculator. Now you see how I did the plus sign right here? How I got the plus sign right here just before that big old radical? Now just change it to a minus sign and it'll give you the other number. Put a minus in there. Hey, it gives me a negative 2. So now I write down a negative 2 for my other answer. So I'll put a -2 right here for my other answer because it gave me that. Most of the time you're going to have two answers whenever you do a quadratic equation. You will have one answer for the plus sign, so I'm right here. This guy gave me the answer for the plus sign. This guy gave me the answer for the minus sign. That's why I had two answers. So the answers are 7 and -2. You're done. That's it. Well, there's two answers. That's totally fine. You're supposed to have two answers. That's how it works, bro. All right, let's do number 2. 2x minus 3x minus 5 equals 0. Whoa, whoa, this one says equals 0. The other one doesn't say equals 0. You treat it the same way. You don't have to, you treat it the exact same way. You don't, this one doesn't have an equal sign, doesn't matter. This one has an equal sign. As long as it says equals 0, then you're good. So he says it equals 0, we're good. So let's go ahead and write down the quadratic formula. Here it goes. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now we got to label the parts. What is the a value? The a value always has the squared on it. Who's got the squared? This 2 does. So the a is 2. The b value is the regular letter right here. It's this guy right here. So the b value is -3. The c value is a guy all by himself. So c equals -5. Now we got to plug these guys into the equation just in parentheses. So here I go. Start with the negative. That's what this thing says. Now plug in the b value. Put in parentheses there. What's the b value? It's a -3. So I write down -3. Close it. I'm going to do it with the plus sign. So plus or minus the square root of, what's the b value again? Oh, -3. Please put it in parentheses whenever you substitute it. Minus 4 times a. The a value is a 2. Parentheses, the c value is a -5. All over 2 parentheses. What was the a value again? A 2. All right, now all we got to do is go type it in. I'm going to have an answer for the plus sign, and I'll have an answer for the minus sign. So I'm going to go x equals, get ready to get my answer. Then I'm going to go x equals, and I'm going to get ready to get my answer. Be right back. Pull up our Desmos calculator, erase that old dude. Let's type in the new dude. Negative, parentheses, -3, parentheses. I'm going to do it for the plus sign first, because you can't type in a plus and minus. It'd mess it up. So plus, pull out that radical right there. Negative, oh, parentheses, -3. Close the parentheses. Don't forget to square it. Subtract 4 times, parentheses 2. Close the parentheses, open the parentheses, -5. Don't forget to highlight the whole equation. We need the whole equation. And we're going to divide it by 2 times parentheses 2. And that gives me an answer of a -1. So I can go back and write in the -1. So I come here and I write the -1. That's my first answer. I did this with a plus sign. Now I'll put in a minus sign and see what it gives me. Go back to Desmos, take the plus sign off, make it a minus sign, and now it gives me a 2.5. So I can come back and write in my answer for the minus sign as a 2.5. Let's go. 2.5. And you're finished. That's it. All right, next one. Let's go. All right, I got x squared plus 2x minus 1 equals 2. All right, let's go. Let's write down the quadratic formula. What is it? The quadratic formula is -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. All right, the a value is always the guy that has the squared on him. So you go. So a equals, oh, there's no number there. What does that happen? It's a 1 then. Cool. The b value, it's always a regular guy. And he's got an x on him, so b value is equal to 2. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. This guy says equals 2. Equals 2. Time out, time out. Stop, 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 stop. The last problem that we did, it had to have said equals 0. If it says equals 0, then we're good. Or if it doesn't even have anything, then we're good. This guy says equals 2. We cannot let it say equals 2. No, 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 no. We don't do that. So I've got to draw a line down the equal sign. I've got to get this 2 and write him on the other side. Who does he belong to? Who can this 2 combine with? Can I put him underneath this x squared? No, because they're not going to go together. Can I put this 2 underneath this 2x? No, they're not going to go together. Can I put this 2 underneath this regular number right here? Yes, regular numbers can always combine. So I'm going to write him down right here, underneath this -1. The rule is, when you cross the line, you got to change his sign. So this 2 right here becomes a -2. So -1 minus 2 is how much? -3. -3. That means that my C value is really a -3. Your C value is a -3. How did I get that? You had to bring the 2 over. It's got to be equal to 0. It can't have a number on the other side. It's going to mess it up for us. So here you go. Now all we got to do is plug it in. Here you go. So I got negative. What's the B value? Parentheses 2 plus or minus the square root of parentheses. What was the B value again? Oh, yeah, 2 squared minus what's the minus 4 parentheses. What's the A value? 1 parentheses. What's the C value? -3 all over 2 parentheses. What's the A value? 1. Now I got to go back and type that in. Let's go. We clear the ugly guy, the old guy, type in the new guy, negative parentheses 2. I got to do it. Let's do it with the plus sign first. Pull up the radical, parentheses 2, close the parentheses, and then square it. -4, parentheses 1, close parentheses, open parentheses, -3, close parentheses. Highlight this whole guy right here. Divide it by 2, parentheses 1. I don't really like how this minus came out here like this. I'm going to erase it and put it right here next to this 2. There we go. So there you go. It gives me an answer of 1. Now while I'm here, I'm just going to change it to the other one. I'm going to make it a minus sign. All right, so when I have the plus sign, like I just swap it right here, in and out, if I wanted to write down my answers. So when I have the plus sign, it gives me a 1. Then when I change it to a minus sign, it gives me a -3. So those are my answers. The answer with the plus sign is a 1. When I change it to a minus sign, it gives me a -3. Let's go back and write both of those down. 1 and -3. 1 and -3. There you go. So it's x equals 1 and x equals -3. All right, last one. Here we go. I got 5x squared equals 80. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You just told me I can't have it equaling to a number, so you got to fix that. I got to take this 80 off and bring him to the other side. So I'll draw a line down the equal sign. Grab that 80. Throw him across. What's the rules whenever you cross the line? You got to change the sign. Very good. So I have 5x squared. You cannot combine the 80 with this 5. This 80 does not have an x on it or x squared. He doesn't go with him. So I got to bring this 80 across. He was a positive 80. He comes over as a negative 80. And now I'm ready to do my stuff. So here you go. Let's see. Got to write down the quadratic formula. What is it? It's negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. All right, let's find out what all the guys are. The first guy that has the x squared is always the a. So the a is a 5. So I'll write down over here, a equals 5. Oops, yeah. B equals, well, the b is a guy with the regular x. There is no regular x here. I can't find a regular x, so I'm going to write a 0. If you don't see the letter at all, it's a 0. If it is there without a number, then it's a 1. But if it's not there at all, then it's a 0. The c value, that's the guy all by himself right here. So the c value is going to be a -80. That's all that's left. C value is a -80. Now I just got to type it in correctly. Here we go. So I got negative b. What was the b value? 0. Plus minus the square root of b squared. What was b squared? Oh, yeah, 0. Minus 4 times a. What's the a value? 5. Times parentheses -80. All over 2 parentheses. What was the a value? Oh, yeah, 5. This is what I'm going to type in the calculator so I can get my answers. Here we go. Be right back. All right, so we got negative parentheses 0. Close it. 1 time for the plus sign. Put the square root parentheses 0. Square that. Oh, I forgot to close the parentheses. Sorry. Close the parentheses. Then square that. Minus 4. Parentheses 5. Close parentheses. Open parentheses. -80. Close parentheses. Highlight the whole, almost exited out. Highlight the whole thing. Hit the divided by button. 2 parentheses 5. And that gives me a 4. So I'll write down my 4. Then I would change this to a minus. Got to do 1 time for the plus sign and 1 time for the minus sign. So it gives me a 4 with the plus. And then a -4. So the answer is 4 and -4. Let's go back, write it down, and we could be done. So I've got x equals to 4 and x equals to -4. And I'm all the way finished. Nice. All right, guys, with great power comes great responsibility, comes great accountability. I need you guys to know how to use the quadratic formula. I need you to be able to solve quadratics. You got to be good at this. You need this. You need this. You need this. Thank you so much for checking it out. If you got any questions, let me know. Work hard, get smart, ask me if you need anything, ask your friends if you're afraid to ask me. Just ask me, man. I'm living life the way you're living life. I'm just trying to get through every day, you know what I mean? Alright, but hit me up for real, because, man, I'm running out of people to talk to, you know what I mean? Anyways, get smart, help your friends, help your neighbor, be a symbol of hope. So, oh my gosh, yes, this person's here, they can finally help me out. Be a symbol of hope. That's what that S stands for. It's a symbol of hope that people are excited, they get happy whenever they see you. Yeah, because we need more heroes. Alright, you guys have a great day. I'll see you later, man.